What is up, lads? You're with Budget Monk, and welcome to a new video. Here today I want to talk about ideas, but namely espionage ideas. So this video is intended to basically update you guys as to where my mindset is at in terms of the meta of the game, and just keep in mind that this is in the context of a grand style, like World Conquest style single player game, not multiplayer, not playing tall, nothing niche like trying to survive on islands or anything like that, but instead a massive single player game. With that being said, there are basically two S tier ideas which are absolutely non-negotiable, and that is administrative, mostly for the CCR, and diplomatic, mostly for the war score cost reduction. In my opinion, these are the absolute best ideas in the game. I'm not going to go into details, guys, but also influence follows closely in the rear, as well as offensive when it comes to military ideas. So you don't need to take all of them, but you are going to want admin and diplo, and I would recommend offensive. With that being said, that means you should kind of view it in a way that you don't have three ideas, because you need to take those ideas. So it's at what combination, at what time do you take which one? That's how you most efficiently play the game relative to your region and your nation and so on. However, tick 14 or even 18 is still early in the context of this grand campaign. And that means you are going to have one or two more negotiable ideas which you can fit in. You could take one first, you take one first and one last, but these would be classified as quote-unquote luxury ideas, as a non-essential. So what is the best and most well-optimized luxury ideas? In my opinion, keep in mind we're talking in general, innovative is the absolute best luxury idea in the game. That is my opinion. It's also been buffed in this patch. The other idea that has been buffed is espionage. And my personal opinion is that this is the second best luxury idea in the game, and it should no longer be memed on. I saw a video talking about only psychopaths take or do these 5 things in EU4, and I'm guilty of doing 4 out of those 5 things, so I suppose I am a psychopath. But with that being said, cost to fabricate claim is alright. Aggressive expansion is self-explanatory, it's alright. Siege ability and spy network construction costs are increased by 50%. This is where the idea set really shines. Efficient spies. This is debatably the best siege ability modifier, as in a single modifier, in the entire game. If you look at offensive 20%, which is the most standout, you have to keep in mind that a spy network gives you 20% siege ability when it is maxed at 100. So in other words, if you had 50 spy network against a nation due to this, helping you buff that up, it would be the equivalent basically of 20%. Obviously, if it was at 100, this would be worth 30%. Now, you can always do a spy network without espionage, but this is 50% increased efficiency. So it's really a decent modifier. Advisor cost reduction and a diplomat. A diplomat helps you, of course, construct those spy networks, and an incredibly powerful thing to be utilized. Of course, single-handedly, these diplomats from Diplo and this one here can, of course, completely prevent coalitions from forming when they could be over 50 aggressive expansion by simply just maxing relations with those nations, as well as lately the advisor cost reduction can actually be maxed out due to the 25 here, and potentially the 25 from Inno, as well as traits and traditions, great projects, etc. It can actually, or even a trait up here, it can be reduced to the capacity of 90%, which is absolutely extremely powerful. And in my opinion, referring back to Inno, people a lot of the time, they have the mindset of how can I spend monarch points to generate money, whereas they should have the mindset of how can I use the money that I have to generate monarch points. That is my suggestion. Otherwise, speaking of money, yearly corruption reduced by 0.2. This is basically just a flat economic modifier if you think about it. As in a world conquest type of game, you're always going to be dealing with overextension throughout the course of the game, which increases your corruption. In this case, you just won't be paying for it. It also gives you the ability, if you like, if you're ahead of time and so on, and your corruption comes down really nicely, to just simply debase throughout the mid and the late game, in some cases generating hundreds of ducats, which can be invested directly into the economy, which will just naturally route itself out. Those are the major takeaways, guys. There's a few other niche things like vassalized acceptance chance, a flat modifier, which can synergize with even things like Sardinia Piedmont has a mission, so you can form Sardinia Piedmont, and vassalized nations which otherwise would never realistically accept vassalized demands. as well as Austria has a modifier as well. I think it comes from their government type, if I remember correctly. So you can actually take that government type and form Sardinia Piedmont, as well as espionage. And, I think you would get over like 50% chance for nations, or not 50 chance, but reasons for them to accept vassalization. So in my opinion, that's a really quick analysis, guys. I think this is one of the better ideas, and it should be utilized. And hopefully, memeing on espionage is a thing of the past. I hope you guys benefited from this video and you learned something. Give me your feedback down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.